What's up? Chester ARP Church Devotional Podcast. Thanks for joining us. We gather this morning in the name of the Lord, and we read from Proverbs chapter 3. These are probably words from the book of Proverbs we find in chapter 3 that are probably the most familiar of all the words of the book of Proverbs. There's a section in chapter 22 talking about train up a child in the way that he should go and he should not depart from it. That is probably a familiar passage as well. But what we're going to read this morning, verses 5 and 6, are probably the most familiar of all of the book of Proverbs. We pick this up in verse 1 of chapter 3, though, and we'll read through verse 12. My son, Solomon, saying, do not forget my teaching, but let your heart keep my commandments. For length of days and years of life and peace they will add to you. Let not steadfast love and faithfulness forsake you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. So you will find favor and good success in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord, and turn away from evil. It will be healing to your flesh, and refreshment to your bones. Honor the Lord with your wealth, and with the first fruits of all your produce. Then your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will be bursting with wine. My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline, or be weary of his reproof. For the Lord reproves him whom he loves, as a father the son in whom he delights. Now, these are really important words to us and really encouraging words to us. Solomon saying, don't forget my teaching, put them in your heart, keep my commandments for the length of your days and the years of your life, and peace they will add to you. Now, why would Solomon say that? It's simply this: because if we are to walk in the ways of the Lord and follow the wisdom that God has given to us through Solomon, and the testimony of his Spirit and the word that has been given to us and the ministry of God's Spirit in our lives, and we apply that to our lives, we're going to have a lot less stress. We're going to get ourselves in a lot less difficult predicaments. We're going to have a lot happier and quieter and settled life. And let me explain. He says, let not steadfast love and faithfulness forsake you. Bind them and put them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Let your life be controlled by steadfast love and faithfulness. Steadfast love of God and faithfulness of God. Your steadfast love to God and your faithfulness to God, but also the way you love and encourage other people. And your loyal and faithful friend and church member and family member. Right? You're not looking out for your own interest. You're looking out for the interest of others. And the more you live that way, the better off you will be. Favor and success will be there with you in the sight of God and man. Who doesn't like somebody who's kind and compassionate and caring and gracious and looking out of their interest of the interest of others? You're going to be more well-liked and more well-appreciated, and you're going to have better opportunities if you let your life be full of steadfast love and faithfulness to the Lord and to your fellow man. You don't have to worry about whether or not you've upset everybody, whether you've done something silly and ridiculous, or somebody's coming out to get you. You're just living a life of love and freedom and good success and faithfulness to the Lord, and you're caring for other people, and that's part and parcel of who you are, and you will find good success in the sight of God and the sight of men. God, it will please God, and it will please other men, women, and children. I'm trying to teach my children this right now. Right? If you will do what you're supposed to do in your classroom, and you do what the teacher asks you to do, and you do it with a good heart and a good attitude, and you're respectful, and you say yes ma'am and no ma'am, and you don't act like a fool, and you don't disrespect, and you don't respond, and we got one of them who's really struggling to learn this lesson. But if you will do what you're supposed to do, you'll find favor in the sight of your teacher and your classmates, and you'll get opportunities that perhaps you didn't get before. And she won't be watching out for everything that happens. I hear this all the time. Oh, Dad, I just get in trouble all the time, and everybody else doing stuff, but she always picks out me. Well, no wonder, because you're always in the middle of it, you nutcase, right? But if you would do what you're supposed to do, follow the ways of the classroom, you won't be singled out, right? You'll have a good life. Trust in the Lord all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding, right? Solomon says to his son, trust the Lord. Don't lean on your own understanding. In your ways acknowledge him, and make paths, he'll make straight your paths. Rest in the Lord and trust God to open the doors for you and to straighten the paths for you and to walk in his way. Does that mean you're not ever going to have hardship? No. Does it not mean you're ever going to have difficulties? No. Does it mean you're not going to have to have a budget that you hold to? No. It just means that God is going to provide for you opportunities and make your ways acceptable and straight and bring glory to his name and good to your life. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Don't lean on your own understanding. Don't think you got this figured out. Be willing to trust the Lord. Be willing to ask for help. Don't be prideful. Honor the Lord with your wealth and the first fruits of all your produce. Tithe to the Lord. Honor him. Use your wealth for the glory of God. Present your tithes, the first fruits of your produce. And the barns that you have will be full of plenty, and your vats will be bursting with wine. Does that mean you're going to have over an abundance? No, but it means that you're always going to have what you need. God's always going to provide for you. You've got to honor the Lord. You've got to trust him and honor him with all that you need, with all that you have, so that he will always meet your needs. Or trusting him to always meet your needs is a better way to say that. Don't despise the Lord's discipline. We talked about that when we talked about the introduction to the book of Proverbs. Instruction comes with consequences. The consequences of our lives, the decisions we make, and things that happen, and the consequences of the choices that we make, and the places that we go, are the accountability that we need in our lives to lead us in the ways of righteousness, because they show us, right, the failures and the dangers that come if we fail to walk in the ways of righteousness. Certainly you have had experiences like that. Maybe God has disciplined you in a very gracious way, but he's given you a glimpse of what could happen if you continue in that direction. And you realize that is actually discipline from God, reproof from God through the ministry of his Spirit in your life, because he loves you as a father loves his own son. I discipline my children because I want to train them and get them to walk in the right paths and to lead them in the right direction so that they'll be productive and followers of Christ, but productive citizens and self-sustaining and all those different things that we want our children to be. And I'm correcting them in the discipline so that they'll walk in the right paths because I love them and I don't want them to suffer. And I don't want to go down the path of destruction. God doesn't want that for you either. And so he will discipline you and bring you into a point of understanding who he is and his grace. You guys take care. God bless you. Follow the Lord today. Trust in him. Don't lean on your own understanding and walk with him. Take care. See you next time.